Yo,
What's going on? What's new with you? What you been up to?
none much. Actually, that's a lie. Are we good to go? Are we starting?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Great. It is Sunday night, everybody. This is a getting
Sunday,
up.
Sunday, Sunday.
Be there. And this is a getting off topic podcast. Is that Family Feud?
I think that is.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what I was about to get. Family Feud in my head.
I know.
The first couple of notes was like da-da-da, da-da-da.
Yeah. I hear the theme music. I don't even remember which game show it is. Um, Yeah, hey everybody, and what is up, my dude? Yep, so we've been up to things. I can't speak. I can't make words. I'm still.
I speak good well.
Me talk pretty someday. I tried. I pounded a bunch of coffee like an hour or so ago, like knowing that we'd be doing the podcast, and then I got slammed with like work crap in my last half hour. But anyway, yeah. So last weekend, mom came up on the train, treated her to day at Disneyland, which was a treat for me and Meg too, because we hadn't been since at least a year or two before COVID even hit.
I think it was like early 2019 or late 2018. I can't remember.
Maybe, yeah.
I think the last time I've been was the last time I was babysitting my nephews, which has to be close to a decade ago.
Wow.
Jeez. But yes, we saw the things and stuff. It was a mixed bag of a day, but it turned out okay. When we first got there, and we knew it was going to be kind of hellish because the only time that we could arrange with my mom was on the weekend, and Disneyland is of course packed on the weekend. And I checked, I was like, oh, maybe they're still like at, slightly less capacity or whatever, but no, they're completely opened up again. Like it's back to normal. So normal weekend crowds at Disneyland. And it turned out to be the hottest day in that weird quick heat wave that we got. So that was nice.
It wasn't the hottest day, but it was not a cool day.
It was like 94, 95 here, so it had to have been at least 90 to 89 there.
Actually, I think it was more like 85 to 90 because the thing is Disneyland doesn't have a whole lot of shade. So everything feels hotter than normal there.
Yeah, you're wandering around on just all that cement baking in the sun.
Perfect day to get a Dole Whip. Did you get a Dole Whip?
We ended up not getting a Dole Whip. We just ran out of time, or we're doing other things. We immediately made a beeline for Galaxy's Edge because we had to. I mean, that was the reason to go, just to check that out. Are you still with us, Todd? You look frozen. Or are you just being very still?
Hello?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, shitty charter internet.
Do I need to repeat what I was saying, or did you catch it?
No, I caught it, but
yeah. So we immediately made a beeline for Galaxy's Edge because that's like the reason to go and check that out.
When I woke up and I saw the text from Meg about the Ahsoka sabers and the dark saber, I had my finger over the Venmo button. Like, can I afford both?
All of it, the twin Ahsoka sabers and the dark saber. Yeah, we made a bunch of pics and we sent that to Meg to send to you. They were quite pretty. Not something that I would spend over $200 on. That's a bit much, bit too rich for my blood.
The handles were crazy heavy, but the blades seemed pretty plasticky. It was really weird.
Yeah, those ones, the blades are not the greatest quality. If you want you have to go to the secondary store or the I can't remember the other company that does them, but they do like a harder plastic blade that's really like it has the nice light up effect that extends with the blade rather than just turns on.
I think
he's just turned on.
I think the company's Force FX.
Yeah, I think that's the.
Or at least that's one of them. I'm sure there's several companies that do.
They have the better ones. But the actual sabers themselves, the ones that Disney has, those are pretty solid. Those are probably better or on par with the Force FX ones.
Yeah, I look pretty rad. And they had a ton of them. They had a ton in the display case, and you could take them out and hold them and everything. They had the legacy ones. That probably still my personal favorite is Luke's from Return of the Jedi, when he builds the green saber.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, they had them all from all the prequels and Clone Wars and everything, you name it. Yeah, we checked out, walked around there. Just being in that location is awesome and rad, just because that whole area is built so it's fully encapsulating, like fully immersive. Like you can't see out to any other area of the park at all.
The only thing you can see is the tip of Thunder Mountain, but it blends into the rest of the Star Wars experience buildings.
Right. Was that Thunder Mountain or Matterhorn? Not the Matterhorn?
No, Matterhorn's further away.
Oh, okay. But in any case, yeah, it blends in, so it just looks like another mountain peak. First thing we did, we walked past the Cantina, which was unfortunately completely booked solid. Like they have reservations, and then they have like a wait list line, just like a walk up line. Even that, you have to like use the app. Everything's done through the app now. You have a Disneyland app. It's very convenient because it has like a full interactive map, and you can see all the wait times live for every attraction. But you can place food orders in advance to wherever, whether it's like a little mini like beverage stand, like the Coke stand, or like one of their sit down restaurant places. So you can order food that way and go and just pick it up. You can reserve for those specialty things in Galaxy's Edge. So the Cantina thing was completely booked solid. There's no chance of getting in that. The Millennium Falcon ride, Smuggler's Run, that's just a walk up. So we did that first, which was cool. I probably would have enjoyed it more if it was just our party, because they put in like up to like 5 or 6 people, I think.
6, up to 6 in the Millennium Falcon.
Okay. So we got paired up with like a dad and his 2 little kids.
One kid.
Or one kid? Okay, whatever. There was a child presence there. And the kid ended up
felt a disturbance in the force.
Yeah. So they, as you're walking through the Millennium Falcon, which is rad, and I'm taking pictures of, they got the little like chessboard set or whatever there, the table. Not a graphic image on top of it, but just the table, but that's cool enough. But then somebody comes and gets you and says, hey, it's your turn. And they ask you like, how many in your party? You're with them and them. And it goes, you're going to be the pilot. You 2 are going to be engineers, and you 2 are going to be gunners or whatever. And so me and Meg were on the guns. My mom was the engineer. So at some point in the ride, like you're chasing after cargo, and she just has to hit the button to like you grab attach to it somehow or whatever.
Which she missed.
Yeah. We all missed. Everything was happening so fast. I felt like an old person. The ride kind of made me feel old. Like, what's happening now? But also, it was all chaotic because the little kid was the pilot and didn't know how to fly the thing at all. And so the whole ride, we're just bashing into literally everything you could possibly bash into.
Well, would you really have been any better than that kid? That ride was so chaotic.
Maybe the tiniest slightly bit better, but it just felt like we missed
video game pro Tony here.
No, it just felt like we missed half of the experience. Like if it was maybe better piloted. No offense, little kid, but we might have gotten more of the story or the experience that you're supposed to get, because it just felt like just being banged around and just shooting at. I'm just hitting a button and shooting at nothing because there's nowhere to aim. But anyway, but it was cool enough. The other one, which we kept hearing, through the grapevine, that no, this is the ride to experience, the Rise of the Resistance ride, which is the newer one in Galaxy's Edge. That one is still like reservations only because it's that popular. And it's like trying to get Comic-Con tickets, basically. Like they start off at 7 a.m. Was it 7 or 8 a.m.? 7 a.m. on the dot. You have to go into the Disneyland app and go to like ride reservations and hit that refresh as 7 a.m. hits the clock, and a button will appear saying like, join the line or join the wait list or whatever. And hopefully you hit that button in time before they say, sorry, reservations are filled. And that's exactly what happened with us at 7 a.m. Like I clicked it right on the money and still, sorry, reservations are filled. But then there's a second chance at 12 noon. So Meg and I both did it right at 12 noon and she got it on her phone. So we were able to get reservations to do the thing. So that was rad. So it gives you a reservation for like way later, like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So we're like, okay, we try to go on a couple other rides. Everything fucking broke.
Oh,
so we went like first we did Pirates, maybe.
We were given a 100-minute wait time. So we realized on such a busy day, we only would really be able to go on one ride. So we chose Pirates, which was fine.
Yeah.
Got in line. It actually went quicker than we assumed it would.
Yeah.
So we hightailed it back to Star Wars area. And
oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get a notification just as we're arriving that, hey, the ride broke. The Star Wars Rise of the Resistance ride broke.
Yeah.
So it's going to be another 80-minute wait.
Yeah, it went from like you have like 15 minutes to go till launch to all of a sudden refresh and it's like 75, 80, 90 minutes. Like, what the hell? And we heard from some people outside that, yeah, the ride's like busted. Like they stopped boarding for now. So we're like, okay, great.
So
time to run back to Pirates and ride it again.
No, we ate some food and then we decided to go to Indiana Jones, which is in the same area as Pirates. So it was all back and forth.
We go to...
Oh, you tell it, I guess.
We go to Indiana Jones and we get all the way through it. It was maybe like a 40-minute wait, but it was going pretty quick. And we get all the way to like the stairs right before, like we're 10 feet away from the ride, from like when you get on the vehicles and it breaks down.
Oh.
And we're just sitting there. And we're sitting there and waiting, and you hear the announcements.
Like 30 minutes that we waited.
Probably like a full 30 minutes. We're just sitting there until they finally just started telling people like just leave because it's not coming back up anytime soon. So everybody gets files out, everything. Just like fucking A. And
you had your perfect opportunity to get your Dole Whip right there because the exit to Indy is right where the Dole Whips are.
Right, the Dole Whip. Yeah,
but at that point we realized we really only had like 25 minutes to go back to the Star Wars area and
go back to the Star Wars area. And then it starts counting up again. It
worked. It was fine.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got on. It was like we walked right up. It was great.
Okay.
The timing was perfect.
I forget, whatever. Yeah. But keep in mind, in between these events, like hours are passing. Like this is our whole damn day, just waiting for a couple of rides.
We arrived at the park, inside the park at 10:30 a.m. And by this point, it was 3:00 p.m. And we had only legit ridden 2 rides.
Yeah.
I believe it.
At that point.
So that's a Saturday at fucking Disneyland, everybody.
Sunday.
Or Sunday, yeah.
But after that, it was fine. The rest of the day was great.
Yeah. So Rise of Resistance makes the fucking day. Like it is as good as everybody says it is.
Todd, it would blow your mind.
Yeah. It's
you feel like you're legit on like the ship in space. It's crazy.
Yeah, because the basic premise of the story is you're like with the rebellion and they're transporting you away because the First Order is in the area or something like that. That you're on some sort of little mission, and they give a whole big crowd, like they pile in like a good, I don't know, 30 people or something maybe onto this like transport shuttle looking thing to go away from whatever the base is called in Galaxy's Edge.
Is that a repurposed Star Tours? Because I remember those
No.
being
No.
like, okay.
It's a separate area altogether.
Yeah, it's completely separate area. Star Tours still exists.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that's just the initial phase. You go into this like big transporter looking thing, and
everybody is in character. They end up pulling you off, like, because you get captured by the First Order.
Yeah, and you're the main leads from the new trilogy are in there. Like Oscar Isaac is seeing you off in the shuttle, or he's like, the way they interact, like with all the screens and everything, like you are in the transport shuttle. You can see one of the, oh god damn it, what's the squid head race? I'm being a bad Star Wars nerd. Moncals, yeah. So one of the Moncals is piloting, and it's like an open cockpit, so you can see him. It's like a full animatronic dude, and behind him are like all the pilots, like the windows of the cockpit, and so you're seeing an interactive screen. So it looks like, and you're feeling the hydraulics of like you going off planet and into space. And then on a separate screen off to the side, you've got Oscar Isaac or Poe, escorting you in an X-wing. And so you're seeing his, like, for his cockpit view. And then, of course, like shit happens. First Order appears, tractor beamed onto a Star Destroyer. And from there, doors open up, and the First Order people, the First Order thugs say, like, get the hell off of this transport, blah, blah, blah. You're all prisoners now of the First Order, and you're being escorted off. So the ride has transported you to this new set, and it's fucking massive, like a full practical set that's like the inside of a Star Destroyer. So you're being escorted around like in a bully-like fashion. like they're taking you down these halls saying, go here, prisoner, blah, 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 blah. And it goes on and on and on from there. Eventually there's animatronic Kylo Ren. You're trying to escape from the Star Destroyer. It's fucking rad as shit.
Nice.
Yeah. So, by the way, spoilers in case anybody didn't want to be spoiled on the new Star Wars, right? But
well, that's hardly a spoiler because you have to experience it.
Yeah, there's so much more to it. Yeah.
It's insane. Like, it blew my mind. Yeah. It was so cool.
It's so good how they set the tone, because it's half like walking in, like almost the beginning of like Haunted Mansion, where they take you into the expanding room or whatever, and it uses that gimmick. But all the interactivity with the animatronic pilot, the space visuals behind him, and space battles, and Poe talking to you the whole time, and it just gets you in, like, immersed completely. So by the time you get to, there's a later portion where you're actually sitting on a sort of ride thing, you feel like you're in the goddamn movie. Yeah. Oh god, so good. So yeah, obviously we're 40 minutes into the podcast here. I'm telling you, that made the day 100%. So I encourage everybody, go to Disneyland and just go to that one thing. Just do it. It's worth it. Yeah. So what have you been up to, Todd?
Absolutely nothing. Watching a lot of Netflix.
Cool. Oh, we've been doing a lot of that too. What are you watching?
So I binged. Okay, so I am preaching the gospel of this show to anybody who will listen.
Okay.
If you have not heard about it, or if you have no interest in it, the show is called Arcane. I need you to change your mind right now. Arcane is an anime on Netflix, and it's based off of characters from the League of Legends game. So a lot of people are kind of turned off because of both of those factors. A, that it's a League of Legends, and B, that it's a video game adaptation anime. Ignore all that nonsense. It's just a really fucking beautiful anime to look at, and it's a really, really fucking good story.
Cool. Yeah, you were telling me about that the other day. I was kind of sketchy on it because I saw the automatic trailers that pop up when you load Netflix, and for all their new shit, and it looked cool. It looked interesting, but I was kind of I was assuming that I was already bumming myself out, like, oh, I probably need to know all the lore to get what's up. And
I had no clue because I cannot stand League of Legends as a game. Like I think it's an inferior game to the game that I play. I play Dota 2. They're similar games. They're very
Dota and League of Legends Wars.
It's inferior.
yeah. I mean, they're the developers behind League of Legends were developers behind Dota 1. They were like secondary, like lower level developers on Dota 1, and they left and they took all of the ideas and they went and made their own game, and it's kind of garbage. I think it's a garbage game, but I mean, it's other than that, like it other than the fact that it's based on the characters and some of the backstories and lore of the characters, like you don't need to know any of it. I knew none of the lore or backstory for any of these characters, and I fell in fucking love with this show. Meg, when you watch it, there's a character that's very much like a Harley Quinn character. You're gonna love her. You will love her.
Sweet.
Cool. Sold.
Awesome.
It looked really interesting, but again, like I didn't really know much about it, so I just kind of wrote it off.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that a lot of people are doing that. And it's unfortunate because it's a really fucking good show.
Well, I did see a little snippet of a headline that they're already renewed for a season 2 for sure.
Yeah, they've already been working on it, so they knew it was gonna do well, so it was sort of a foregone conclusion that was gonna get picked up for season 2. Riot actually has said that they want to make multiple stories, multiple branches with multiple characters, because just like Dota, League has like 100 characters or some crazy number like that. Yeah. And this show only like focuses on like 5 or 6 of them. So obviously they have tons of characters they can pull stories from.
Yeah. Insane amount of storytelling you could build that world.
Exactly.
Sweet. The big release this week, just in the last few days, is Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Yeah. So Meg and I are only 2 episodes in, but I don't know what the fuck the critics are smoking. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
And being a diehard fan of the original, it's not like an anime purist thing, like, oh, this is going to be garbage. Like, I mean, I was, of course, always try to reserve my excitement and try not to get let down by adaptations, but it's definitely its own beast, but still very, very respectful of the original. So many things, like the opening titles, the insane amount of nonstop music, and of course we know the original composer Yoko Kanno is on this project. It's Bebop. It's great. It works. It has.
I think the two biggest criticisms. One of them is sort of kind of valid, but then again, like taken in the fact the medium that it's in. One of them is the dialogue writing is kind of like weird and kind of almost bad in some scenes. Yeah. But watch the original anime. The dialogue in the original anime was bad too.
Yeah, it's an interesting dance they have to do to a balancing act to be very faithful enough to the original material to appease the fans, so then they don't come at them with fucking pitchforks for ruining their precious anime, but also make it a realistic live action show. Like exactly. You have to have more kind of well-rounded characters, or at least develop them a little more, as opposed to being, so two-dimensional. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast with anime. Not to shit on anime. It's just, it's one of the greatest animes of all time.
Shows that you're used to.
Yeah, but certain things you just have to take into account with how they're going to translate to a live-action universe. And like you said, I think like some of the dialogue is a bit hammy, it's very pulpy, but Meg and I mean, we recognize that, but we didn't see it as a downside. It just, the style of it works. And it very much reminded us, I was about to say it, and then Meg said it first. It reminds us of Sin City, like just a live action comic book. So things are very over dramatic. There's moments where it's very like comic booky, noirish, and over dramatic looks and camera angles and everything about it is very much that specific style, but it works. It works for the show. It works for the material.
And that's the style of the original. Like, it was all about the over dramatic, beautiful, like wide shots, or like, take for example the red-eyed thief couple with the pseudo pregnant lady.
Yeah.
Like, the whole, like, her whole death scene where she's floating in space with the vials floating around her. That's like pulled straight from the episode.
Yeah, a lot of shots pulled straight from the original. I immediately recognized so much of the original soundtrack, a lot of the OG tracks sprinkled in there throughout the first 2 episodes, along with new music as well. But I feel like they went through already like half the original soundtrack in just the first 2 episodes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But and you touched on it though, but I think the second biggest gripe is mostly coming from man baby fans that don't like the Faye character. Like, I think that the majority of people that I've seen complaining about the final
I
product
love
that we've
her.
seen, so do I. But I mean, the majority of the people that I've seen that are complaining about the final product are also people that, if you go back on their Twitter history and whined and bitched when the first trailer came out, and they saw that, oh, she's not she's not the anime accurate costume, she doesn't have the anime accurate body proportions. Fuck you, jackoffs.
Yeah, and I feel like, when in the first episode, when they're in the casino and Spike is coming down in the elevator, I'm seeing the version of the anime Spike, and then they show the real, John Cho, the
Live
action one. And it's different. And so I feel like I'm watching the show, and yes, it's based on the anime, but it's its own thing, and everybody keeps trying to compare it and be like, well, it's not spot on to the anime. Well, if it were, it would be boring. It's the Star Wars effect with episode 7. It's like, it needs to be its own thing. And the same can be said for Faye Valentine.
Yeah.
And, I thought she was, honestly, only 2 episodes in, I think she was the best part of the show.
I kind of agree. Yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying it all, but if you're going to compare things to the original,
people just want giant boobs and tits, and that's not what they get, so they think it's a terrible rendition.
OG Faye works for the world of an anime from 1998 because she's a very classic femme fatale. She's kind of more like mysterious and whatever, and then eventually she joins in on the hijinks and has a little more to say and whatever. But in a live action 2021 adaptation, she's evolved to be exactly who she needs to be, like a realistic female character who's just as much of a tough bounty hunter as the rest of them, like just trying to make do and stopping them in their tracks as she's mouthing off to them like hey, fuck faces, like it works so well. Another thing that I enjoyed already,
they're not giving the actress who played her shit because she's not as voluptuous as the anime.
Yeah, Judy from the I forget what it's called, the bounty hunter little
Big Shot
announcement show, the Big Shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Big Shot.
Yeah, where they announce the new bounties. Yeah, like go and get them.
Yeah, but at least they have a comic accurate costume for her. Gosh. Or anime accurate costume for her.
But they actually don't, because in the anime her shirt is fully open, and in the show it's not. It's closed.
No, it's open. It's open. If you look at it,
open?
yeah, it's open.
Meg's like, are you sure? I pay attention to my tits. She's like, I must look this up.
She just doesn't have much to begin with. That's where it's different.
Okay. The one choice that I'm kind of appreciative that they did it, but at the same time it feels a little unnecessary, and I don't know. So the original big bad of the series is Vicious, who's kind of the leader of, or a bigwig of, the elusive Syndicate, the crime syndicate that Spike used to be a part of. So we already see a lot of that story being fleshed out in these first 2 episodes. But in addition to that, which I don't recall this being a part of the original show at all, it's been a few years, but from what I remember, Vicious is top dog, like period, end of story. In this live action adaptation, he's got his own big bads that he has to answer to. And so I bet there's probably
they want you to have sympathy for him.
Yeah, maybe. Or just kind of, I don't know.
Like Zuko, like Zuko's the big bad, and then his dad is answering to a higher power person.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel sympathy for Zuko.
Yeah. I don't know if giving this guy sympathy would do the right. Well, we haven't seen the rest of it. We've only been 2 episodes in, so you might know more than we do, Todd. But I thought that was kind of a cool touch, those new big wigs of the Syndicate, all kind of creepy and in their little lair. Basically, it kind of reminds me of the fake time what was it, the Time Lords or Timekeepers from the TVA. What the fuck were they called? The fake, Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. But yeah, that was a really awesome scene where it showed how terrified he was of their wrath, that he was straight up going to murder his wife on command. It's like, okay. But yeah, the one choice, again, that's probably a hotly debated choice with the fans of the original anime, kind of cutting off his balls like that when he was supposed to be the big bad. But also Spike, this added layer to him of that's not his real name, or at least he went by this code name. Was it Fearless that they used? Yeah. Which I was wondering, right before they introduced Vicious, or as they were introducing his character in that first or second episode, I was wondering, how are they gonna try to explain that away at all? Or are they just gonna leave it alone? Because it's silly. The dude's name is Vicious. Like, that's his name as far as we know in the original anime, and that's just a very anime thing. So how are they going to adapt that to this live action? Are they going to give him a different name? Are they going to say that that's like a code name or something? And that was going to be my guess. Maybe it's a code name. And then they keep calling Spike Fearless, and I go, oh, okay, that was probably his code name in the Syndicate. That makes sense. It still feels kind of wonky when people call him it. It feels kind of cheesy to me, but I guess for the explanation it works. But yeah, I'm loving the crap out of it, and I'm excited for the rest. I got a little spoiled on headlines today, for the finale, but yeah, I won't say anymore because I don't want to spoil it for Meg either. But yeah, I'm excited for where it's going.
Yep, so far I'm liking it. I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes further than you are.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it.
Sweet. This is a little bit of old news, but shortly after our last podcast, there was that whole Disney Plus day where they released a whole bunch of sneak peeks and stuff for all the upcoming things.
Oh yeah, it was mostly Marvel.
Yeah, mostly Marvel stuff. There was they had like a few little behind the scenes reels. I think there was one for the Obi-Wan show. The big out of left field announcement, the X-Men 97 animated series. So yeah, new animated series from Marvel Studios. They are straight up continuing the 90s X-Men show timeline. They're just starting it back up, I guess, where they left off, right?
So, as far as I can tell, I haven't really seen any news outside of the announcement on Disney Plus Day, but just
I like how they embraced the sad Wolverine meme to announce it.
Yeah, that was good. And apparently a lot of the original voice actors are coming back for it, so that's cool.
Yeah, a big reunion. That's cool. Can hear that version of Wolverine who sounds like he's constipated as hell. Bub. Yeah, I think they had like a quick blink and you'll miss it little bit of footage from Moon Knight.
Yeah, it was like a 30-second teaser, but basically confirmed that costume leak that we saw like 6 months ago is the actual costume.
Cool.
So we get the Hawkeye spinoff Echo is confirmed.
Right. Yeah.
We have
Marvel Zombies animated series.
Yep, that's confirmed as well.
Yeah.
We already knew Loki season 2 was coming. We knew What If season 2 was coming as well. We got a trailer for Baymax, which was really super cool.
Oh, I didn't see that. So check that out.
It's like a 60-second little trailer, but it's
Okay.
fun, and I'm looking forward to coming back to that.
Yeah, I only saw Big Hero 6 once in the theaters, but I remember having a lot of fun with it.
It's really good, and it's Marvel canon. Yeah, Marvel canon. It's in the same universe as Marvel. So
Oh, nice. Cool. I think they had a quick little like meet the cast of the Willow series.
yeah, that was really funny. Did you actually watch it?
Not yet. No,
It's done in the style of his character from Extras, so it's like really tongue in cheek, funny.
Nice. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah, what else? A few random things. There was a I think there was a follow-up to the Princess and the Frog. Tiana is coming.
So.
A few little animated specials. Yeah, a Zootopia one. Cars, because they're never gonna stop making Cars shit.
No, I mean it sells gangbusters with little boys, so
yeah. Oh, the first image from Hocus Pocus 2 with the with all the ladies. There was on Twitter, I saw there was like a side-by-side comparison for like 2021 versus, was it 93, 94 was the original? But
94, I believe.
yeah, but yeah, looking pretty good.
A lot of makeup.
Oh yes, makeup can do wonders.
Makeup is thick. Yes.
Yeah. 2 C's.
It would take the whole podcast to go through every single thing, but just rest assured, every little ounce of whatever, pick any property that Disney owns, and they're pushing out more shit for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a decent trailer for Hawkeye. That was I think that was that took up the most amount of time in that little like 7-minute video that they did. I think 2 or 3 of it was dedicated to Hawkeye, and it looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
And the early reviews that are coming out for the first like couple of episodes are saying it's really fucking good.
Sweet. I'm excited.
It comes out next week.
Already? Damn. Oh god, there's too much stuff. Too much stuff already. Let me get through Bebop before we work on the next thing. There was I saw a quick little headline. Sylvester Stallone announced to his social media world that he was back on the set for Guardians 3. So his character is going to be back in Guardians 3.
Well, it kind of seemed like they were setting that up because the post-credit scene with him and the rest of the Ravagers.
Yeah, but you never know if that's just like a fun little, like a quick little just thing for the fans. Moment. Yeah, and who knows if they're ever going to follow up on it. Maybe it's just like, well, we only had them for a day, like we invited them just for the hell of it. Let's throw this in for the fans. But no, that's cool that they're going to bring him back. Well, speaking of bringing people back, we got our final trailer for the Spider-Mans. No Way Home, which still does not feature multiple Spider-Mans.
It does. They're just invisible.
They're just photoshopped out.
Yeah, they've just been CG'd out.
Probably, but what?
No, they were. There's a scene toward the end of the trailer where 3 of the Sinister Six are like jumping at Spider-Man, and was it like what's the crocodile's name? I know it's not Killer Croc. That's the DC version of him.
No, the lizard.
The lizard. Okay, so it's just the lizard. There's a brief moment where the lizard is jumping at Spider-Man. Well, sort of in Spider-Man's general direction, and you see his head knock back like it's been punched, but there's nothing there in front of him.
Okay.
So obviously something has been CG'd out of the trailer.
Gotcha. He just hit. It was Wonder Woman's invisible jet. He just smacked right into the windshield. But yeah, they did reveal. I mean, spoilers if you don't want to get spoiled by the final trailer of No Way Home. But as everybody suspected, we're not just getting Doc Ock. We're getting every freaking Spider-Man villain that we have seen on live action, except for Venom. Not getting that yet, but I'm assuming that's probably in the next adventure down the line, because they still got to do a nice crossover with the Sony Venom property and Spider-Man.
I feel he's going to be like a mid or a post-credit scene. He might have like a brief appearance at the end or something like that, but I strongly feel he'll be the mid or post-credit scene.
Yeah, but everybody that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield faced, even freaking
we had J. Jonah. We had the guy that plays J. Jonah Jameson, who is him in real life.
Yes. I'm blanking on his name right now because he's just J. Jonah.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. Thank you. Yes, it's very.
I don't know why I was thinking of J.K. Rowling, but
J.K. Rowling.
Like, the name is similar to that. What is it? It's not her.
Do the same thing, Todd.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
Yeah, it looks like big comic booky fun. I did see snippets of an interview with Tom Holland that made me a little bit nervous about it, because he was speaking on the Spider-Man franchise. He was speaking on Uncharted. He was talking about how he got beat the hell up on Uncharted because he's been over in Spider-Man land, and a lot of that is just CG. But in Uncharted, he's like, yeah, it's just me and jeans and a shirt, and running and tumbling and falling on shit and whatever. So yeah, he said he got pretty beat up. But they talked about Spider-Man, and one feels a little scary that he's talking about, I mean, of course it's going to come eventually, but he's talking about winding down his time on Spider-Man. He's not really saying anything definitive, but seems like he's not really sold on continuing on in Spider-Man for the near future. He's kind of like, maybe a Miles Morales film is the next way to go, and
I mean,
hand it off to someone else.
He's still young and he's still relatively-ish new in the franchise, but I mean, this is his third Spider-Man film, and this is his like fifth or sixth appearance of Spider-Man. So he's like been in it for almost as long as some of the other top Marvel heavyweights. Yeah.
The other thing that was a bit unsettling was he revealed that just how much that No Way Home was apparently being rewritten on the fly, like almost on a daily basis. It kind of reminds me of when they talked about Iron Man 2, how they were improvising through a lot of it.
Oof.
Yeah, he was saying specifically, they didn't say what it was, but the big finale of the film, like a big, huge moment, emotional moment at the end, that was supposed to be like, at the heart of the film. Tom Holland actually went to the director, John Watts. He's like, this doesn't feel right. Like, this doesn't feel right to me. It's not working. Like, can we change this? And they sat down and had to hash it out and came up with a better ending. But so yay, but also with all that back and forth and rewrites, it has me a little worried. Like, is this going to be the lesser of all the Spider-Man films when it should be like, it potentially could be his grand finale, at least for solo films. I don't know.
Is this going to be his Iron Man 3?
I like Iron Man 3, damn it. Not the greatest, but it's not bad either. But yeah, I don't know.
It's definitely in the bottom half of Marvel movies.
All right, we'll see. Yeah. Iron Man. You got your Iron Man 3s, your Thor 2s, your
apparently now Eternals.
That's another one that I'm holding out, because I kept hearing about people shitting on Eternals, and same time I hear people shitting on the new Ghostbusters and Cowboy Bebop, and Cowboy Bebop definitely is
The
good for me. So.
difference with Cowboy Bebop is strange, and it's holding like a fifth, like almost an exact 50-50 on both critic and audiences. The thing that has hope for me with Ghostbusters is, well, it's like around a 40 or a 50% critics. Like last time I checked, it was like 95% with an audience rating. So I have hope for that. And the Eternals, on the other hand, was like there was like a 60% critic rating, but then like a 30 or 40% audience rating.
All
So,
right. Well, yeah, I'm honestly not in any rush to watch it. I might wait till it's streaming on Disney.
it'll show up on Disney Plus by the end of December, so I can wait. I
Yeah.
don't have to go to This is the first Marvel movie that I'm saying I don't have to go theaters for.
Yeah, I
And
think
that feels
too.
that feels kind of strange.
Yeah. Kind of end of an era there.
Yeah.
Wait, did I go to actually no, I take it back. I did not go to the last Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. Why didn't I go to that?
You're right. I don't think I did. I don't think I did either.
Yeah. Was that like right at the beginning of COVID?
Maybe.
Was it that long ago? I don't even know. Whatever. Anyway. And another quick little bit of Marvel news. Scarlett Johansson, I guess, is not done with Marvel yet. Kevin Feige was in a little interview and he revealed that they're working on a secret project together, Marvel related, not Black Widow, but they're keeping it under the wraps. And she's going to be at least producing. I don't know if she's also going to be starring in it. But
I think there's rumors that she might be directing it actually.
Oh, well, Feige did say she's producing at least. But yeah, we shall see.
Yeah, there was never problems with her and Feige. It was her and the rest of Disney, like corporate.
Disney, yeah. There was a tiny little bit of promo art that got leaked for Strange 2 and showed Wanda as, you know, Scarlet Witched out, looking all ominous. And also the first look at the new hero, Miss America Chavez.
America Chavez, yeah.
Played by Xochitl Gomez.
Yeah, and that's another film that's starting to get me a little worried too, because they might be going too big for their britches. Apparently, they're under massive reshoots right now.
Right.
And that's supposed to come out like middle of next year, I believe.
Okay. I still don't believe any of those leaks. So like, oh, they're bringing in the X-Men. Oh, Hugh Jackman's back. I think that's all just wishful.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really bring it up. But it is confirmed that they are doing reshoots. Whether or not the multitudes of rumors that half of the original X-Men cast and half of the first class cast is involved with it, I don't know if I believe any of that, but
yeah,
we can all dream.
Yeah, we can always dream. Until Hugh Jackman is in the grave, we will keep on dreaming. As will Ryan Reynolds.
That would piss Ryan Reynolds off if he shows up in the Strange movie and not Deadpool 3.
You son of a bitch. Oh man. Well, here's something that I thought was completely unbelievable, and then you sent me article links. Again, it's not anything can happen. I don't think it's officially greenlit or anything, but apparently Mel Gibson is trying to make a Lethal Weapon 5.
Mm-hmm.
He shared, I forget how we even got on the subject, but
we were talking about The Nice Guys. I watched The Nice Guys again, and Shane Black, and then...
right, yeah, how that should have a sequel. Yeah, so my initial, you said, oh, Lethal Weapon 5 is happening, so anything can happen. I was like, bullshit. Like, no, Richard Donner is gone. He passed away, and actually earlier this year even. And I just don't see them doing it. I mean, Danny Glover is 1,000 years old, but apparently, according to Mel Gibson in the article I read, he's in an interview, he was talking about how Richard Donner was actually working on a screenplay for number 5, and apparently told Mel Gibson, like, listen, kid, if I kick the bucket, you're gonna do it. And then he did. So I guess Mel Gibson is trying to make this happen. He didn't explicitly confirm if he's going to be reprising as Riggs or what the nature of the story would even be at this point, but I got to imagine they would have to be handing the baton, because
they have to be retired at this point. The only way it makes sense is if they're retired cops and somebody gets out of jail that they put away. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, and they tag along with maybe the official, lead detectives or something on it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Consulting, yeah. And then wacky hijinks ensue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see.
And it's not like they have to do super action-y shit. I mean, all they have to do is shoot guns.
Yeah. Danny Glover shooting from a wheelchair.
His cane is a gun.
Jesus. I might watch it. Well, here's something I do want to see, and I am insane. I'm crazy excited how this came to be and the fact that it's happening. We reported on this a while ago, maybe months ago, that Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa were cooking up their own Lethal Weapon style buddy cop adventure.
Yes.
And it all started out, Dave Bautista just threw it out. He specifically tweeted, like, just going to throw this out in the atmosphere and see what happens. Like, here we go. Me and Momoa in a Lethal Weapon type buddy cop movie directed by David Leitch. Okay, there it is. And now we wait. And it took like hours for his phone to blow up, for Momoa's phone to blow up, and for like a bidding war to begin. And just this past week, it was announced that they officially struck a deal. And so that's going to be happening at MGM. So I just love that he just fucking manifested that. Just like, no, we're going to do this. Period. Who wants in? Who wants to print money?
It's not writing a script for and having some people in mind. It's having the people first and then following up with the script.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm sure deals like that happen all the time, or you definitely heard stories about that back in the day. Like, okay, we got this lead star who wants to shoot guns and stuff and, jump on things, and, what can we cook up for him by Friday? Piece of shit action thing. Sweet, go. But yeah. In other wacky shoot 'em up hijinks, did you see that Reno 911 is not done yet?
No, they're getting like a film or a short movie or something like that.
I thought that's been in talks for a while.
Well, so they had a season. I forget how many seasons the original show was, 6 or 7.
It was on for a while.
Okay, then they had an additional season on the very shortly lived Quibi service. Then that service died immediately, and then
Like everybody expected it would.
Yeah, and then all of that content got passed on to Roku. You can actually watch that additional season on the free Roku channel if you have a Roku device. And now, I think, what was it going to be on? Paramount Plus, maybe? Where was it? Somewhere. They have a new home somewhere. Yeah, Paramount Plus. And it's coming soon, actually, December 23rd. Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon.
Oh, shit. Wow.
That's great. They just keep coming back, kind of like Futurama. Like, they're just like, you want to do another special? Yeah, fuck it. That's great. And also on Paramount Plus, because they spent all of that money on South Park, we got a teaser this week for their first exclusive special, the post-COVID special. And the hilarious part of it is it fast forwards to the future with grown-up Kyle and Stan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you get bits of that. It's just a quick, like, minute-long teaser, but it's like in big letters, post-COVID, and they're like fully grown adults.
Yeah, it's not like a year or two later. It's like 20 years later.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because at this rate, COVID's going to be around for 20 years.
Yeah. And you see Randy Marsh is now the angry old grandpa in a wheelchair. That's great.
Speaking of Paramount Plus, they kind of fucked it recently.
What now?
So Discovery just had their season premiere, I think, last week.
Right.
And Discovery is pretty huge internationally. Well, Star Wars or Star Trek in general is pretty huge internationally. It's one of the American franchises that I think actually does better internationally than it does domestically. And unfortunately, you cannot watch. You weren't able to watch Paramount Plus in most countries outside of the U.S. I think U.S. and like France, Germany, and UK or Canada were the only places where you could watch Paramount Plus in. Well, to get Discovery and other Star Trek out there, it's been on Netflix internationally.
Right.
Well, literally 2 days before the season premiere of Discovery, they yanked Star Trek from Netflix because they're trying to launch Paramount Plus globally. And unfortunately, it's still not available in a majority of countries. So now you literally cannot watch Discovery anywhere in a lot of major countries.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. So great way to hamstring your own product.
Yeah, that ain't right. Oh. Speaking of things that ain't right, Rockstar had to apologize.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
For the release of, we're jumping into games here, folks. Grand Theft Auto, what was it, the Definitive Edition or Definitive
Edition Trilogy?
Right. So this was launching on Nintendo Switch, on PC, on pretty much all platforms, or?
Yeah, it's been on all platforms. Switch, all major consoles, PC, yeah.
Yeah. So these are supposed to be remastered, revamped, modernized versions of Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And everybody's all hyped for it. And
including me. I've been talking about this on the podcast for at least a year.
Yeah. And even before I talked to you and heard, the reactions and whatnot, I saw occasionally I get like Reddit notifications on my phone, just random shit that it thinks I liked. And from the Switch chat, people were blowing up about first off that it's $60, which, for a Switch title. But talking about all of the glitches, all the absolute disaster of a release. The thing was pretty much unplayable, I believe, right?
On the PC, it completely was unplayable. On the Switch, I think there was major issues. People are saying the Xbox and PC version or PlayStation versions are playable, not bug free, but they're playable.
Yeah,
but on PC, it was like there was so many memory leaks and frame drops and just like garbage like port that they actually had to stop selling it on PC for a while.
Yeah, just so many visual and technical issues, major ones. Yeah, so
it's just it's so fucking bad. Like it's so bad that in some cases the original version looks better than the fucking remaster. The texture quality and the remapping was so fucking lazy. Like
it's just
I can't
insane.
even describe it how bad it fucking is. Like just This is probably one of the most widely circulated examples of how bad it is. But there's a random NPC that walks around on Grove Street, and Grove Street is where your main home is. And he's one of the Grove Street bangers, and you see him all the time. And this character is so fucking lazily done that the original character had a 7 on the back of his like jersey, and you can see the mesh where the 7 is supposed to be, but when they remastered it and put a new character model over it, for some fucking reason they didn't use a 7, they put a fucking 9 over it. So you can see the mesh where the 7 is supposed to be, but the visual is a 9.
So I know I don't work in the gaming industry, and so I'm sure if we were on the ground floor, we could more easily comprehend and understand how these things slip by. But when something is this bad at launch, you just gotta wonder, like, how the fuck did this? Who said it's good to go? Like, who gave the order? Like, go ahead, release it. It's great. Like, well, how did that get past QA?
I don't think they did QA.
Was there a QA department at all?
I literally don't think they did QA. I think it was just a pure cash grab. They gave it to like 5 people in a back office to do, and they said, do whatever you can, just make it launch in a year or 2 years or whatever time frame they gave. And they didn't do QA, they didn't do any kind of fucking testing. The people that did the models were straight out of fucking college. This is their first art project. Like, I don't understand how this could have gone this disastrously fucking wrong.
Yeah.
So the Metacritic aggregate score right now, Metacritic is 1 to 10 is their score range, and it's obviously pulled like Rotten Tomatoes is for TV and film, Metacritic is for video games. It pulls from like critics and audiences. Their current score right now for the definitive trilogy is 0.5. 0.5 out of 10.
Is that 0.5 like just for existing? Is that kind of like like they say you get so many points on the SAT just for writing your name?
Yes, exactly. Like,
wow.
it doesn't matter what it is. There will always be one person that will support it.
Yeah.
So like that's where the 0.5 is coming from.
Jeez. Oh man. Well,
but yeah, that's rough. Video games in general is having like a rough month right about now.
yeah.
Like the GTA trilogy is a disaster. The Switch N64 emulation is a fucking disaster.
Right. Yeah.
Blizzard Activision is going through even more disaster garbage right now.
But
So
I thought they drained the swamp.
oh no, they did not. Let me tell
boy.
you the latest in this ongoing saga of fucking swamp ass.
God, here we
So
go.
universally hated. I'll make this brief.
Okay.
Universally hated CEO Bobby Kotick, who is one of like the evil, like the architect of the evil corporate CEO character. Like whenever you think of that, like that fucking film, this cannot be comically cartoonishly bad CEO. That's Bobby Kotick. Like he enjoys living up to that fucking stereotype.
Okay.
He was like in the mid like 2000s, he was voted multiple years in a row worst CEO in America. So he is a comically bad asshole, and he apparently knew all of the shit, or at least like some of the higher level like sexual harassment shit that was going on at Blizzard, and actually let it slide, like, and covered up. And like one of the more severe ones was one of the CFOs or higher level executives actually assaulted or harassed a woman, and she reported it. They covered it up internally, and because the guy was Bobby Kotick's friend, they like nothing happened to the dude. Like he didn't get any consequences whatsoever. And Bobby is known about all this shit for years, and he has actually been accused of harassment himself. So there's that. And then so the other bullshit that came out too was when they fired / let go the CEO of Blizzard, the last one that got fired because of all this shit that came out. They appointed two co-chairmans that were supposed to usher in a new era of inclusivity and all that good. And it was a man and a woman. Both Blizzard vets had been working there for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, and then like less than 6 months later, the woman quits because she sees that nothing is changing, nothing positive is happening, and she can't support the company any longer. Turns out, when they made them co-CEOs or co-chairmans, they fucking paid her less than they paid him. Like the age old argument. And they couldn't even have the foresight to pay them the same fucking rate.
Uh-huh.
It's just like comically bad.
Oh my God.
All right, that's enough about Blizzard depressing bullshit. WoW is in the dumps. I can't support Blizzard at the moment. I'm dying to play Diablo 2, the remaster, because I actually heard it's a pretty good remaster. But I refuse to support Blizzard now and for as long as Bobby Kotick is CEO, I refuse to support Blizzard. So I won't be playing D2 or WoW or any of that anytime soon.
All right. Well, see what happens. Speaking of, on that same line of things that you enjoy, but are conflicting, morally conflicting, there's a Harry Potter Return to Hogwarts special coming. So the story's interesting. So this is coming to HBO Max, a little retrospective special to celebrate the anniversary of the first film, which was fucking 20 years ago, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So this is coming. It's going to premiere on New Year's Day, and lots of the original cast. Going to reunite Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, Rupert Grint. So that's going to be fun. Interestingly enough, what the press has picked up on is the fact that J.K. Rowling is nowhere to be mentioned in any of these proceedings.
Yeah, she's specifically not invited.
No.
Because she's a terrible person.
Yep.
So yeah, could be fun. I'm into it. We never finished watching those. Yeah.
The one interesting name that I didn't see anywhere was Tom Felton, which surprises me because he is, like said multiple times, he's all about that. He really wants that to happen. So that would be interesting to not see him in that.
Well, it says, I mean, of course it names the big three, and will join filmmaker Chris Columbus and other cast members from all 8 films. So he's got to be in there.
That's that article. I saw other articles that had other names, like the Bonnie Wright, the Weasley parents were named specifically.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The Weasleys, all 100 Weasleys will be there. That's cool. Oh, one little bit, just side note back into gaming. I forgot to mention, the Game Awards are coming on December 9th. Usually I don't really care about them unless they reveal updates of oncoming stuff. But there's insider rumors saying that there's some big Legend of Zelda announcements coming since this is the 35th anniversary.
I think they said this year is going to be a huge group of announcements at the Video Game Awards. Since E3 was kind of meh this year, a lot of companies were holding their bigger releases till later in the year. So this could be a major, a slew of major announcement at the Video Game Awards.
Cool. All right. I saw you sent me the beautiful poster of the Matrix Resurrections that we got.
Yes, we got our first poster.
Yeah, and officially Return to the Source Christmas in theaters and on HBO Max. Yeah, so got Keanu looking all goth Jesus-y.
And we got Carrie Ann looking exactly like she was in the last film.
Yep.
Hasn't aged a day since.
Yeah. Didn't Jada Pinkett is back in it, I believe.
I think she is, yes.
Yeah. And then alternate Morpheus,
Yeah,
whatever the
recasted
hell,
Morpheus for
whatever
some
the hell
reason.
is happening there, that's happening. Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure it'll be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other things in Christmas, Joe Bob Briggs announced the last drive-in Christmas special, Joe Bob Ruins Christmas.
What's he watching?
They didn't. I don't believe they announced the movies yet. But in his Instagram post, he mentioned that they're stretching the Christmas theme. It sounds like they're not really watching Christmas movies because they're mentioning like, well, they're stretching the idea of what Christmas means. but what I am excited for, what they're doing, is the format they're doing it is like their last Christmas special from last year. It's like this mock QVC like shopping channel sort of thing. But they're auctioning off like horror memorabilia and like they have like random little trinkets and then like big ticket like legit behind the scenes items from classic horror movies. So they did that last year in the same like goofy QVC style on the movie breaks, and they ended up with like 40 grand raised for charities, so that's cool.
Nice.
So they're going to do that again. That's December 17th on Shudder.
What's in Meg's bitchin' kitchen tonight, Meg?
Oh,
So I found this like Instagram cooking like recipe, and it's basically a whole food cupcake where it's like a carrot cake bottom, and then there's like almost like an ice cream icing on top, but it's fine.
I love it. I think it's delicious. If you don't want to kill them, I will.
No, I'll
It
kill
looks
them. I mean,
delicious.
the flavors are there, but I was expecting it to not be as mushy and be more solid, of almost like a bread on the bottom where you pick it up and you bite into it. But this has so much liquid to it, I guess you could say, that it's just super mushy. Like you have to have it with a fork. But the flavors are all there. It's definitely delicious.
Meg's got a thing with textures.
Mhm.
I think it's delicious. It's kind of like to me, it's like a gingerbready tasting sort of
I'm
treat.
curious how it would be with like pumpkin.
Good. Yeah. That's one way to find out. Well, I'll tell you what Meg is all in for. Henry Cavill. He was in a little interview this week, and he confirmed he is absolutely down to hang out in The Witcher for as long as humanly possible.
Oh yeah.
I guess the showrunner has made mention before that she's got a 7-year plan, a 7-season plan.
Nice.
And Henry Cavill said he is absolutely on board with it, as long as his stipulation is as long as they're still telling good stories that honor the original writer's world.
And as long as they don't accidentally murder him.
Oh, did he get hurt on set?
Oh yeah, he tore his hamstring.
Oh, ouch.
Badly too, apparently.
Damn.
Like there was rumors that he injured himself on set a while ago because it happened last year. He finally opened up about it on a interview recently, and he said it almost killed his action career.
Oh shit.
Shit. That's rough.
The doctors said it was going to be a long road to recovery, and he may not be he might not have been an action star after the finish of it.
Yikes.
So.
Phew. We are not invincible. Not even Superman.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, they're already confirmed for a 3rd season at least, and I'm sure there's many more to come because Netflix is putting all their eggs in that basket. They're growing the Witcher universe.
Yeah, they already have multiple Witcher projects in development. Again, like we've seen the anime, we've seen there's the animated film. They're doing a Vesemir prequel series. There's all kinds of stuff in development right now.
Yeah. Yep. Netflix is also continuing to ramp up their Avatar live action series. This past week they announced they cast. I know you haven't watched the show yet, but which is a crime. But we'll watch Arcane. You start watching Avatar.
Deal.
But they announced their Uncle Iroh, who is one of, if not the most beloved character of both shows, actually. Paul, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this name, Paul Sun Hyung Lee, who was on Kim's Convenience, and also he was on The Mandalorian. He was one of the New Republic pilots. Yeah, he's been cast.
I've heard that like a lot of people that are familiar with the show and his work say it's like the perfect fan casting.
That's rad. Yeah. Another little bit. I know again you're not going to get it because you haven't watched the show, but I'll give you a quick little insight. It's not a major spoiler, but in the world of Avatar, in the first show, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, as the main heroes are going through their adventures, there's an episode pretty early on where they're kind of running through a city or a town, and there's a little street merchant, a vendor selling cabbages. And it's the most random thing, but he's like, that classic like movie chase scene where the hero is chasing after the bad guy and they just run into like a fruit stand and this and that and just shit gets broken everywhere they run. So it's that kind of he's one of the guys who gets in the way and his cabbages go everywhere and the guy's like, oh, my cabbages, and it's just a funny dumb little moment, a throwaway moment. But apparently the showrunners just like loved it so much that they kept bringing that joke back.
He's the Cleveland in the bathtub in Family Guy.
Yeah, no.
Jesus.
Yeah. So
Not again.
Yeah,
it's that equivalent.
So it ends up becoming a part of the show, and so because of that,
people make fun of it all the time. It's hilarious.
Because of there's literally a board game called My Cabbages.
Oh,
I forget it. I think it's no, it's not a Monopoly. It's some other. It's one they tag on the Avatar property onto established board game, but it's the Oh My Cabbages edition. Anyway, so in the light of all these the Uncle Iroh casting and all these casting announcements, like all the main characters, all the leads have been casted at this point. So now this past week, fans online were fan casting the cabbage merchant, and I think it's perfect. Ken Jeong.
Yes.
He would be absolutely perfect. I'd love to see him screaming as his cabbages go every which way. But yeah. Anyway. So there's that. Let's see. And other things to make fans of old properties go wild. Have you been hearing these rumblings about Stargate SG-1?
So yeah, the rumblings is, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, they're trying to reboot it.
Yeah. The original creator, Brad Wright, he's been blabbing about it. He's got a full pitch for a revival, not a reboot, a revival, and he wants to continue with the OG, at least the three main leads from the original show. I have no idea what they're up to these days, but I think he's at least written a pilot for it.
There's certainly no Quantum Leap reboot happening anytime soon, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Aww.
Rest in peace. Yeah, I have this is a hole in my geekdom. I've only caught little bits and pieces of SG-1 throughout the years. That's another one.
When I was a little kid, but
yeah, that's another one that I would finally have to binge the whole thing. Like Meg and I went through Supernatural all this past year. That would have to be a huge binge.
It's rough though.
SG-1, that's what is that, 13 seasons or so?
Yeah, it's early 90s, like bad CG.
It is very, I started recently rewatching it, and it is very rough CGI. The stories are fun and okay, and it's definitely unique Monsters of the Week format, at least for the first like season or two. but it definitely is very rough. And the resolution is like really fucking bad. There's no upscales, there's no HD copies. It wasn't shot in like HD cameras. It's like you're literally watching a VHS recording of the first couple of seasons.
Oh, that reminds me of when they were trying to remaster Next Generation, and
Yeah.
all of those effects shots were like Betamax essentially, just not great. Yeah.
Yeah, the first season of Star Trek, or the first like 2 seasons of Next Gen are better than than the CG and the general overall quality of SG1. But I
Right.
mean, if you put it on background watching and you don't really actively pay attention to it, they're still fine.
Yeah, I would probably still give it a go. Hey, Meg, you were the one who suggested watching and binging all of Xena just a few days ago.
That's also rough.
Yeah,
I've
that's
caught it
gonna
on
be rough
TV a few
too.
times, and I'm like, how is this a show?
How did we love this so much?
Uh-huh.
The 90s were a simpler time.
Didn't take much. You just run across the same field in New Zealand all the time in every episode.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, my personal exception is my personal love is Farscape. That was my huge epic first love in TV sci-fi, and yeah, that was from 99 to 03, just 4 years, and then that little special they did, and yeah, same thing. Any of the CG shots are granted good for them that they use the Jim Henson Creature Shop for a lot of the aliens, so a lot of the practical shit still holds up. But all the full CG work of like outside, spaceships, battling each other, it's a Windows 95 screensaver. It's not good. Not good.
I think that's why Star Trek actually holds up a lot better in the ship universe, because they actually used practical ships.
Yeah,
All of the ships are practical. Like the
Yeah.
effects around the ships, not so practical, but they hold up a lot better than a lot of like the late 80s, early 90s sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, speaking of spaceships and shit, you clued me in, Todd, that the one, I guess, ongoing, the one lingering Star Wars film that was upcoming might be dead in the water.
Yeah, so it's officially been announced that they are delaying the film,
Yeah, Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
What's unofficial at this moment and rumors, but also highly credible, the same leaker that leaked the fact that this film was even in existence, leaked recently that the film is DOA due to conflicts between Patty Jenkins and Disney, or well, not necessarily Disney, but Lucasfilm higher ups, probably Kathleen Kennedy to be specific. But it's currently stated as scheduling conflicts with because she has Wonder Woman 3 that she's writing, directing, producing, all that good stuff. And I'm sure she probably got other DC projects or other like Warner Brothers projects. I think she's got an non-exclusive contract, but I think she's got a multi-film deal with WB. But there's rumors that there's too much interference from Lucasfilm in what she's trying to write into the script. So she very much wants to have control, and they are very much Disney, so they are very much we have control.
Yeah. Creative differences.
Yeah, creative differences. And there's also rumors that the same thing is happening with Taika's film, which is even further out on the slate. It hasn't even been announced / whatever it is. But there's rumors that the same thing is happening with his film, is he's trying to write it and Disney is interfering and saying, no, we want to go in this direction, not where you're taking it.
Yeah. feels like, I mean, it feels like they have this pattern of getting way ahead of themselves. Like it feels like you go to a Disney event or something, and if you're a bigwig, they just hand you a Star Wars movie like it's a business card. Like, here, you want to direct a Star Wars? You want to direct a Star Wars? And then after the fact, it all falls, behind the scenes, like over the next couple of years, it all falls apart. The Game of Thrones guys were going to have their own trilogy at some point.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Rian Johnson was going to have his own trilogy, and everybody gets a trilogy.
Both of those canceled, by the way.
Yeah. It's
just give the fucking universe to Filoni and fucking what's his name? Happy.
Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau. Just give it to Filoni and Favreau. Just give it to Filoni and Favreau and let them have control of the film universe as well as the TV universe, and be done with it.
That just sounds so. It sounds old Hollywood perfect. Filoni and Favreau, Star Wars. Yeah. Well, hopefully that's the direction they are leaning into, and it took a while for them to come around to it, but maybe that's just what's naturally happening, because the Mando universe, the television world of Star Wars, is going full throttle. We still haven't heard any updates on the Rangers of the New Republic ever since the Gina Carano fallout. Okay, but everything else, Obi-Wan's up and coming. Ahsoka is up and coming and joining Rosario Dawson. Yep.
We even had casting news. We are getting Sabine Wren. Yep. So more of our Rebels cast is coming in, and the actress slated to play it is Natasha Liu Bordizzo.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'm saying her name right, but
not familiar with her.
Not familiar with her either, but she nails the look. She's gorgeous. I think she will at least nail the look of the character, if not the acting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not familiar with her stuff, but apparently, oh, that's right. We looked this up the other day. I didn't even know. Apparently, Netflix did a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sequel.
Yeah.
A few years back, and she was in that. That was her debut.
Clearly, it was a great film.
I mean, the reviews were mixed of it. I loved the original so much that I kind of avoided watching it because I didn't want it to taint the original.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, maybe I'll get around to watching it eventually. But she was in that. She was in Guns Akimbo with Harry Potter himself,
which I need to watch. I forgot that existed until now, Guns Akimbo, but I remember seeing that image constantly 2 years ago of Daniel Radcliffe in like a bathrobe and fluffy slippers with guns like duct taped to his hands, and just this wild-eyed look on his face in the middle of the street. So I have to see that.
She was in The Greatest Showman.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one. All right.
Finally just watched that.
Greatest Showman?
Mm-hmm.
Was it great?
It was good.
Yeah. Hugh Jackman.
The Goodest Showman.
The Buddhist Showman.
You know how I am about musicals, and I really liked it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're giving a musical
because
a good
it's
review.
meant to be a musical.
Okay. All right. Greatest Showman.
What's your opinion on Sound of Music?
I love Sound of Music.
Yeah.
I wore our VHS tape out. It's one of my favorite movies.
The double copy or the double tape VHS?
It wasn't double tape.
Yeah, it had two. It was the white one that had two. Yeah, Sound of Music had two tapes.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
All right.
I remember because we had there was only like 3 or 4 films that we had that were 2 tapes. It was Sound of Music. It was
Gone with the Wind.
We had Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Last of the Mohicans. What was the other one that was like Last of the Mohicans around the same time?
Dances with Wolves?
No, not Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, Sound of Music had an intermission, so I can understand it having 2 tapes.
Yeah. Probably.
Titanic had 2 tapes.
Yeah.
Titanic, of course, yes.
I remember in the theater they had the intermission for Titanic.
Yeah. T2, Terminator 2, the collector's edition VHS. I remember that was a dual tape, so I had that one. Maybe. Memories. And speaking of action blast from the past, actually, my last bit of news that I've got on my what's up?
1492. That was the other one that we had.
1492. I never saw that one.
And don't bother.
Okay. Well, here's something that's interesting. At this point, I mean, I've been so painfully forgiving sometimes of the Predator franchise. Even that last one with Shane Black, it had its good moments, definitely had its low moments. I can't give it a solid A, but it was worth a watch. But this has me pretty interested because this latest news, they're going back to basics. A first look at the new Predator movie was released, and it's just a single image, looks like a poster-worthy image, but pretty much tells the story. It's set 300 years in the past. So a Native American woman is being hunted/hunting the Predator, or a Predator. Rad. It looks rad as shit. There's just this image. I'll send it to you, Todd. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like a snowy whiteout or if it's ash because the whole forest is burning, but it's just a grayed out landscape with a bunch of dead looking trees. You've got the indigenous woman there hunting with a bow and arrow, and behind her, just faintly in the fog, you can see the Predator coming at her.
Now, the question is, she looks fairly ripped. Does she have a epic handshake with another fairly ripped indigenous person?
That needs to happen. You son of a bitch. No, I think this is a really good take because they did the modern. They've done multiple modern day iterations, and this feels like it could be handled correctly. I don't know who is attached to this. I probably should have read the damn article, shouldn't I? Main character is a female warrior named Naru trying to protect her tribe against an alien warrior that the audience is very familiar with. Predator prequel will star Amber Midthunder as Naru. Also involved in the project is Dan Trachtenberg is set to direct. Most notably, his first feature was 10 Cloverfield Lane. I am so in for this, and he's also directed some episodes of The Boys. Hell yeah, I'm all in on this. Sweet. Could this be the one, like the home run Predator movie once again? I don't know. We shall see.
Don't get your hopes up, Tony. Stop it.
Hopes rising. And one
last thing.
A little bit of news. Another blast from the past. Somebody decided that Under Siege needed a reboot.
Excuse me, what? How have you heard of this and I haven't heard anything about this yet? What? What the fuck?
What? What? I am not familiar with this team here. I apologize if I am butchering these names. Timo Chahanto directing, Umair Alim writing. Send you the link here.
I'm looking at the Deadline link right now.
Yeah.
I don't recognize either of those names.
Yeah. The duo collaborated and developed the pitch together with the movie being planned to stream on HBO Max.
There's zero chance that fucking Seagal is involved in this.
No, absolute zero chance. -20 chance, I'll give it. Yeah, is it no word if he would reprise his role as Casey Ryback in any form, even for a cameo. I doubt it. But yeah, that's happening. Okay, so probably butchering the name. I apologize.
Oh, one of the
Chihanto-
guy, one of the right.
Oh, you cut out. Say again.
The name that you're trying to pronounce right now is currently attached to direct remake of the Train to Busan, which is interesting.
Wait, remake of Train to
Well,
Busan?
yeah, so they're doing a remake but set in America.
Oh, so well,
So just
but not.
zombies on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is
Why?
it gonna? Does it? It sounds more like it's gonna be a sequel because Train to Busan is not that old. It's a few years, isn't it?
But it's still really it's a foreign film, so they're adapting it for an American audience. Sounds
Oh.
like.
So they're doing the like Let the Right One In, and then the American version Let Me In.
Because nobody's allowed to have their own films anymore. America has to do one better.
Uh-huh. We're gonna take that amazing foreign thing and America all over it.
Surprised there is an American Parasite version.
Yeah, already. Maybe it's in the works. Okay. But yeah, Tahanto is an Indonesian filmmaker. He got his start by directing VHS 2. Went on to direct Night Comes For Us and May the Devil Take You. May the Devil Take You. That one sounds familiar. I haven't seen these though. But okay.
I don't think it needs a remake. It's the only Seagal film that's actually watchable.
Yeah. Also, thanks to Tommy Lee Jones as in one of his wacky villain roles.
Yeah, let's be honest. Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey carry that film.
Yes, 100%.
So, but
and the rack of what's her name, the playmate.
Yes, the 5 seconds of VHS tape for every like preteen and teenager from the 90s that got wore out faster than the rest of that tape.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. The writer also wrote the Netflix assassin movie Kate, starring Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Woody Harrelson, which I still need to watch.
That's on the list. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard good things. All right. Well, that's a thing.
That certainly is a thing. How did you hear about that before I heard about that? That's what I want to know.
Do you have just a permanent Under Siege alert? Like
yes, I have a Google alert set up for Under Siege.
You just think the insanely rare occasion that the stars align and there's some sort of news about Under Siege. The only thing I could imagine is Seagal being found dead in a hotel somewhere.
Well, it'd more likely be dead in Russia because he's a Russian citizen now, by the way.
Oh, okay.
It was one of my dad's favorite films, so we watched it a lot when I was a kid. He loved Seagal. He loved like pretty much any like war action type thing.
Yeah.
But Seagal was one of his favorites.
You grew up on all those like the 70s, 80s, B military hero, like everybody trying to be Rambo. Fucking what's his face? Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, yeah.
Oh, what was damn, my movie homework that I forgot about. What's the one, the B movie Top Gun?
Iron Eagle.
Iron Eagle. That's the
Iron Eagle
that I need to get on, yeah. I need to just
also here's one that's actually legit good.
Okay.
It had James Garner in it. Tank. I'm
Right.
sure that's on one of the streaming services because I've watched it in the last like 2 or 3 years. If you can find that on one of the streaming services, just Tank. That's all it is. Watch it.
84 film. You can rent it on Vudu for like $4.
It's with James Garner and a bunch of other random nobodies. Like you've probably seen a few of the character actors in other films because they were in all of the 80s like generic.
Oh, yeah.
And the sheriff,
Thomas Howell, yeah. James Cromwell. Okay.
Actually, it's a good film. It's a good flick. It was one of me and my dad's favorites. I think we watched that almost as much as we watched Under Siege.
That's oh god, even the the poster art is this old school, how they used to do good solid movie posters, the painted, the artwork. Just a big honking a Merc and thumbs up from James Garner there.
Yep.
Oh man, that's good. That's the epitome of like dad favorites. That's an official genre. From 70s, 80s war movies, or like, military style movies. Dad favorites.
Yep.
We should do a little special on dad favorites. I'll start watching these. I'll fill in the blanks of
it's definitely the type of film that your dad would come home, sit in a recliner and crack open a beer and recite along the lines of his favorite movie that is seen 15 billion times.
And the recliner is like a brown corduroy with a really sad beer cozy on the beer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been worn out in like 15 places, but he can't throw it away because it's his.
Oh, yes. A well-loved beer cozy and recliner and a trucker hat.
Yep.
For like Pennzoil or some shit.
And the recliner is like 15 years worth of dad farts.
and it's pushed like right up against that fake brown old ass wood wall.
Oh man. Puts a tear to my eye. Honestly, that's starting to sound like more like my grandpa's favorites, really. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, that's all the news I got. Anything else, Todd? Any other gaming? Any movie shit I missed?
I'm sure there was something, but after the last 10 minutes I'm spent fucking Under Siege. God damn it.
You gotta watch some Under Siege. And Tank. All right, guys. Thank you for joining. This is Tony.
This is Todd.
And Meg.
Go play some video games. Go watch some dad favorites. And
some 80s, some 70s, 80s, and 90s dad flicks.
Yeah. Giant
that should be a category on Netflix. Dad flicks.
Dad flicks. There we go. Dad flicks. That works. All right. Stay frosty, guys.